In this video, we're going to be talking about how we actually save out our graphics from Illustrator. Now, this includes saving them for the screen and saving them for printing. So, in this case, this file this is a poster for a Korean television series, and right now I just have a standard document set up. It's pretty much what we've been using all along. Let's talk about the printing process first. So I'm going to go ahead and click off of everything and click Document Setup. And whenever you visit your printer's website, so this might be, let's say we're getting it printed at like Office Max or something like that, which isn't a great printer, but there's others out there that you can use. They're going to tell you a bleed number that you need to use. And this bleed number probably will be in inches, and they might say we need a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch bleed on everything. So an 1/8 inch, I do 1/8, which is 0.125. And I click off, and it will add this bleed. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And as you can see, this red line has been added around my graphic. Now what this means is that you need to basically extend your imagery to this red line in order for it to be printed properly. So for example, I could grab this background rectangle and it just needs to reach the edge of this bleed. Now in my case, that's a pretty easy fix. I might want to fix the top of her hair here. That might require a little bit more adjustment, but for now this is fine. I'm okay with the top of her hair being a little bit flat. This is just kind of our like wiggle room, right? You don't want to have a white border around your print, so you have this bleed. Now to print it, you can go File, Save As, and traditionally you'll just use an Illustrator file, but a lot of websites will also ask you for an Adobe PDF. If I switch it to PDF and hit Save, it's going to open up the Adobe Pdf Settings. There's a bunch of different PDF presets here, like high quality print. You can find that information, at your printer. I'm going to do high quality print. So let's go ahead and hit Save PDF. It will have saved a PDF that we can send to our printers. You also typically want to be in CMYK color mode. We've been using that this entire time, so I'm not worried about that. If you haven't been, if for some reason you're in RGB color mode, you can go File, Document Color Mode, and switch it. Now this is going to ruin some of your colors, so you'll have to probably recolor all of your artwork. That's very important that you're working in whatever format you want to use for printing or for screens. Okay, so let's talk about saving this for the screen. So let's say I want to save this as like a graphic. I can go File, Export, Export for Screens. Whenever I click this, it's going to open up this dialog box that has Artboard selected, where we can select multiple artboards. We can also select assets. If we have independent assets, we can tell it where it's going to export to. I'm going to go ahead and say Create Subfolders. And there's a bunch of formats down here. So first we have the scale. So we can say, a multiple. So we could say, okay, this is a 500 by 500 point document, so make it 2 times that size. We can also give it a resolution. So we could say, I want it to be, 1200 dpi or something. And we can also give it a width or a height. So I'm going to say I want it to be 1920 pixels wide. Then we have a suffix here, and then we have the actual format. So PNG, PNG8, JPEG 100. These are different quality settings. So JPEG 100 is 100% quality, 80, 50, 20, etc. I'm going to pick JPEG 100. We can give it a prefix if we want. I'm going to go ahead and add another scale. Let's do a different width. Okay, so let's go ahead and click Export Artboard. And what it's going to do is it's going to convert it to all these different formats. So you can add a ton of formats to this. I'm going to click Export Artboard. And now it's created 2 folders on my desktop, one that says 1280 width and one that says 1920 width. So if I click this made it 1920 by 1920. So if I open this up, I have this JPEG, and this is perfect for a screen. And this one is 1280 by 1280, so it's a little bit lower resolution. And you can see a slight difference. So let's say that we want to save out a file with transparency. So let me select this layer and I'm going to turn off the text and the background. And let's say I just want to save out this graphic. So there's a couple of ways we can do this, but usually what I'll do is just turn off everything except for the isolated graphic that we want to use. Then we go File, Export, Export for Screens. And as you know, we can use our PNG format. So maybe I'll just say 4x PNG. And I need to select my artboard again. Say Export Artboard. I want to make sure I turn these off. And this will create a PNG with transparency. So this means that this graphic is ready to go for web or for whatever other case you have where you need it to be transparent.